Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Lana Del Rey record, Ultraviolence. Lana Del Rey is an American singer-songwriter who is now putting out her second full-length album after hitting it big with the name Lana Del Rey and singles like the song Video Games, as well as the LP she dropped shortly after Born to Die, which continued to drop big tracks for her like Summertime Sadness, Blue Jeans, and the title track of the LP. Personally, I wasn't really a big fan of the record, but I did like its fusion of vintage vocal and chamber pop together with hip-hop beats. But there were a lot of things holding me back from loving this LP, like the cliche, dreadful, and childish lyricism, stereotypical bad boy love interests, and older men as well when she's trying to work that Lolita angle. At the end of the day, this LP has about the emotional depth of a middle schooler's diary, especially since all the female leads in Lana's songs, her or otherwise, are too weak-willed and starry-eyed to really see a crappy situation in front of their faces and do anything about it. It's pure daytime talk show melodrama. And in my opinion, Lana is not that great of a singer either. There are too many tracks on this record where she just apathetically moans and groans her way through tracks under the guise of sounding sexy or emotional. It's just bad acting. I might as well be watching the first Twilight movie. And Ultraviolence right here is the sequel. New album for Lana, new set of songs, new team of producers, a few familiar faces here and there, but some of the most notable new ones being Greg Kurstin, who helped produce the new Lykke Li record, and Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys, who actually handles a majority of the production on this record. And it's actually not a bad change of pace because instrumentally it does bring her closer to the vocal and chamber pop that influences her so much from the 50s and 60s. This record to me gives Lana much more weight as an artist because of how instrumentally lofty it sounds. However, a lot like the new Black Keys record, these instrumental accessories only go so far due to a lack of interesting songs and lyrics. In some respects, Ultraviolence is an even weaker record for Lana. A lot of the time she doesn't even sound like the focus of her own album here, because Lana succumbs to the reverb-heavy sleeper hold that Lykke Li did on her new record. And sometimes I think her trademark personality gets lost when she reaches up into this baby-voiced falsetto, which she relies on more than ever on this record. The songs are nowhere near as punchy or as catchy as they were on Born to Die. On here, they're much more syrupy and long-winded. The first track on here is almost 7 minutes long. And songs of that length kind of become an issue when vocally you have the personality of a wet paper towel, and all the characters in your songs read like a trashy romance novel. Lana deviates from these supposedly tragic romances occasionally, but when she does, it's not really a pretty sight. Like on the song Brooklyn Baby, where all Lana seems to be doing is just creating this really obnoxious Brooklyn young female stereotype who gets down to beat poetry and listens to old jazz records and only seems to be infatuated with old things simply because they're old. And it might be some kind of satire, but if that is the case, Lana forgot to put the joke in there somewhere. It's just not there. There's also the song Fucked My Way to the Top, which obviously seems like a song title that is just thrown in there to troll haters and get people who don't like Lana to start saying, "Oh yeah, of course she fucked her way to the top." Bleh. But lyrically, it's a song that seems to dump on some kind of person Lana has beef with, who she calls out as being a copycat. And I don't know who this person is, she doesn't mention her by name, but still, calling somebody a copycat is a pretty bold statement coming from somebody who just mercilessly rips off and grave robs every pop culture icon from the 50s and 60s to create her art. Then there's the song Money, Power, Glory, which lyrically is just vapid greed. It's just a dreadfully boring song, especially with the flaccid chorus on this track. More has never sounded so less. And there are other flaccid choruses on this record too, like on West Coast, where the chorus, when it comes up and all the instrumentation slows down, it just sucks the wind right out of the song. The track Ultraviolence, the track Sad Girl, a particularly redundant chorus. I'm a sad girl, I'm a sad girl, I'm a sad girl. Sometimes she's falling flat, sometimes she's falling sharp, and for every moment that she sings that is passable, there's a moment like the finish of I'm Pretty When I Cry, where she's trying to vocalize laughably in her upper register. Lana, on this record, on the standard edition, did save the best for last. As soon as the track The Other Woman started, I gave my undivided attention to the track, to the lyrics, and was actually wowed by the first 4 lines of lyrics on this track, thinking that they were a beautiful, clever, and smart portrayal of what it's like to be the other woman in a relationship. The lyrics on this track were just uncharacteristically good for Lana Del Rey, and that was absolutely true because the track was actually written by the best song is written by someone else. Overall, this LP, instrumentally, production-wise, it's not too bad. There were a lot of beautiful and endearing moments on this record, but lyrically, vocally, and sometimes melodically, this record is just gross. It is dying to be tragic. It is dying to be meaningful, but it wants to get there without any sort of philosophical thought, without any sort of soul-searching. Because truth be told, this record is too shallow to even have a soul to search through. I'm feeling a strong 1 to a light 2 on this record. Transition, if you've given this record a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it, hate it, why? There's a thing underneath my head that lets you subscribe. This record has no soul, I'm saying it here again. And what should I review next? Cool? Cool. Anthony Fantano, Lana Del Rey, Ultraviolence, forever.